Hey guys, I wanted to go ahead and get another video out before I went to work today. So the name of this video is going to be Perception of Your Desired Reality. And what I mean by that is the perception of your desired reality is the desired reality that you want to get to. And the way I kind of have like a formula on how to do this, on how to find your desired reality or whatnot. So I kind of think of like the time-space fabric that scientists and presentations, they go ahead and they kind of like demonstrate it like it's a three-dimensional grid of basically the entire universe, and like basically it's more likely our planet that they describe it as. And with that planet they have a almost like graphing paper, and to give a description of how time would interact with that is the graphing paper would be not on a flat dimensional plane, but it would be more likely in a tube, like in a tube shape, and the Earth would be in the center of that tube, and time would go on as the Earth went through that grid, and then different things and circumstances would happen within that tube. So basically the same concept of what I thought of, but it would just be a flat dimension, a flat plane for the but that flat plane would be the grid, but that flat plane would be the graph paper, basically. And within that graph paper, so we have all those boxes and whatnot, all those squares that the graph paper creates. But the way I imagine it, instead of it being just that graph paper, but within those squares, it is our different versions of ourselves within that. Because when you have time and space, and then you add in what frequency is, the theory of that would be everything is split up into several different frequencies, and depending on what that frequency is, it is a different version of ourselves, a different reality entirely. And based on what our decisions that we have made, for the ones that we the ones that we have taken or should have taken, resides on those different, in breaking up between all those different frequencies of which those different realities reside at. And also for the decisions that we made that we know we shouldn't have. So depending on what that is, what those decisions were, reality would be a lot more different, or it would be a lot more similar to what it actually is currently in this dimension of reality. So with all those frequencies and whatnot, the way I have it like this, like if we have those different perceptions of reality on different frequencies and on different scales within each of those squares on that graph paper, you would want to pick out which one is specifically the one that you want to reach to. Which one is it that you want to reach to is the question. It's the ones that the versions of yourself that you would want to become, because you have achieved those in different realities and in different dimensions. So for me, for instance, the person that I would want to become for that reality, it would be successful. This person would also have the things that I wanted, the things that I have achieved, and whatnot. So that would just be, having my own t-shirt company, and I'm sure in some other reality it would be that I have already achieved that, or in the future I've already achieved that for that different version of myself. So that's where I'm trying to get to, is basically specifically where I would want to be at. And the way to really achieve that and become that person is not through the materialistic side of it and having yourself get into tons of debt and stuff like that, because I don't recommend any of that to anybody. Like, yeah, you gotta live it, but at the same time, you don't need all that stuff right now, because you're not, like, I'm not in that league yet, and like other people that are trying to make it are not in that league yet. So obviously you can't do that to yourself, because that's just gonna prolong it. So the way that you actually do it is you tap into the frequency of that person that you are trying to become. So I envisioned that person being right here, basically on that flat grid, just right there. And I wanted to have the things that that person had. So I need to achieve the frequency of where that guy is residing at, of where that different version of myself is residing at. And the way I would do that is I would imagine how it would feel to have all those things already achieved, and if you're actually reaching and trying to go towards that reality, you would have already achieved it, because you want it and you are working towards it. Eventually you are going to get it. So you got to act like that you do have it, kind of like you're faking it till you make it, but not really, just living on that frequency scale of it. So that's how you kind of determine the frequency of where that person, that version of yourself is residing at, is determining, what are you feeling, and how that works. Just imagine what that person is feeling like. Also, another great way too is to go ahead and do the things that you want to do in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Start working towards it. If you have a little bit of time on the side, you might work 2 jobs, but you still have time to work on those things that you want to achieve in the future. Always work on it. Always put a little bit so you can get a little bit more ahead with it. Just step by step, day by day. That might require, go ahead and getting a second job or whatnot within that criteria that you want to reach. Another way of it is just studying on it, watching YouTube videos on those specific things that you want to achieve, and just learning and gaining new knowledge and information, listening to like the people that you need to listen to. That's very important, is listening to the people that have already achieved those things too, and watching and seeing how they're feeling and what they're doing and how they have achieved those things. Those are the people that you want to surround yourself with mostly. So you need the surroundings around you on top of already feeling that way. And trust me, it's gonna work out so well for you if you're actually feeling the frequency of which that version of yourself is residing at, on top of working towards it. And it's such a great feeling to go ahead and work towards those things, especially if it fulfills you. So that's basically how you would achieve that frequency, the perception of your desired reality, and living and feeling that perception, and living on that frequency of that perception also. So I think I nailed this one. I'm over in hot-ass Florida. You can probably hear the crickets chirping out here, or whatever bugs those are. I've lived here all my life. I don't know which bugs those are. It's in the middle of October right now, and it's ridiculously hot still. I hope you are having way more better weather experiences wherever you guys are watching these videos at. And thank you for watching these videos, by the way, too. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'm going to leave it here. Thank you, guys.